equities market is set to, will the equities set to turn a corner today after posting a 3% decline this week as profit taking in some heavyweight stocks dragged the NGX All Share Index lower. Analysts caution that the risk of sentiment could persist through the end of the third quarter. Muktar Mohammed, analyst at Assar Investments, joined me now for the market update today. Thank you so much for your time today, Muktar. Let's get into what we're seeing play out today in terms of sentiments from investors. So far this week, we've seen that 3% pullback in terms of week-to-date returns. But what's driving sentiments in the markets today?
Thank you, Kenneth. I think it's still the same thing. Just like you said, I think investor sentiment in the market today is largely driven by profit taking. A lot of investors are taking profit, and a lot of investors are reevaluating their share position, especially with stocks that were yet to get that interim report, especially from the banking sector. If you remember, the stock that really ticked the markets for about 2 weeks was the insurance sector. But once that news came that about the recapitalization, we saw a lot of pullback, and this pullback is as a result that investors are taking a backseat to really go through the company fundamentals to really know which company they think will survive the recapitalization driving the insurance sector. The banking sector, like I said, is profit taking. We've seen some of those stocks coming down from their all-time high now to an all-time, to a low, maybe 2 weeks low, 3 weeks low even. So we expect that to continue. Just like you said, they will need a trigger. And like I said, the trigger will have to come from those earnings reports, especially interim dividend and mid-term report from the financial sector. That will be the game changer, especially when it's positive.
But would you say that investors are shifting from equities into safer assets at this time?
No, I don't think so. Rather, like I said, investors are reevaluating their positions, because if you look at the safer assets and you look at the returns, rates are going down. And so a lot of investors, even looking at their dividend yield and capital appreciation, they still think the equity market is still better than what in terms of return, better than what they were getting in the fixed income market. This current rally that we saw before now, was largely driven by a lot of investors that saw the return in the fixed income space coming down and then pulling up their funds and finding a high return in the equity market, especially with the kind of reforms that have helped driving that sector. You look at the banking sector reform, recapitalization, and then now the insurance sector reform. So I don't think so. Like I said, I think investors are just violating their positions and taking profit and looking at good entry point for them to come back to the market.
Yeah, but how soon do you think the market could turn a corner? Is there a catalyst in downside that you think will play here?
Like I said, I think we look at those interim report when it comes from the banking sector. That could be the game changer. And then we are looking at some midterm reports. Again, they've come from the financial sector. But again, then the consumer goods and other sector, we are still waiting for them to come up with their mid-year reports. So definitely when those reports comes, I think that's what will change the direction of the market. For now, it will definitely be a cautious approach. But when this number comes in and hopefully this number become positive, then you see a lot of movement in the market. We may get back to where, and that, like you say, that will definitely, we expect this result to hit the market before the 30th of September. Some for the consumer goods sector, we expect some of them result to begin to hit the market from next week. Their half-year result begin to hit the market from next week. And then we know that the banking sector, some of the companies are paying interim dividend has come out with report for time because they are waiting for CBN approval. So once those results comes in from the consumer good, like I said, next week, and then from the banking sector, we expect those results to turn in before the mid-September. That could be the game changer.
Because I'd love to get your take on what we can expect from the banking results.
Well, we're a little bit positive about those results, especially for the tier 1 banks. And if you look at them, those that have released those results, they have released their results that are not audited. You see that there's a lot of positivity going forward. And then when you look at those results that are not yet out, you look at Zenith Bank, you look at UBA, you look at GTCO, and you look at Access Bank. If you look at their first quarter report, it was positive. Then again, remember that some of them, like the lack of especially UBA, are doing the right issues, and so they would like their investors to be able to know why they have to buy those shares. So I think for me, I'm positive about the banking sector results if I go by what happened in the first quarters of those. And then before now, Kenneth, we're afraid that forbearance has come in, banks will not pay interim dividend. But from all the indication, from all the notice by the banks to the exchange after their board meeting, their feelers that they have approved the interim dividend are waiting for CBN approval. So for me, that shows that there's a lot of positivity to expect from those results.
And the consumer names, what can you expect from the results we're expecting?
Consumer goods perception is high now. We have gone way past those FX volatility. Now what we are seeing, stability in the exchange rate, even if you say it's not fully stable at a particular rate, but you could actually be able to plan because you know that the exchange rate is between 1,530, 1,550. Or 1,545. So that is also going to play in those consumer goods sector. We expect that they are out of the wood. If you look at Nigerian brewery result, you look at Guinness, you've seen that a lot of positivity have come out from the first quarter result. And also, you also didn't forget the telecom sector. This is going to be a game changer, especially for a company like MTN. Don't forget that deal with 9Mobile also could add to their bottom line also. And also, don't forget that they have this stability, and then the price increment was not fully captured in the first quarter result. It will be captured in the first quarter result. So a lot of positivity, especially with the FX stability that we are enjoying now in the market. So I expect a lot of positivity on the consumer good. Consumer perception is a little bit high compared to what it was sometime last year, and also the stability in the FX rate, especially for the communication sector.
All right, there are quite a lot to digest in the market, but thank you so much, as always, for your time and analysis on the show here. Muktar Mohammed, there, an analyst at Assar Investments.